Tasya Kyanandana Salakaya Chaksurun Militam Jaina Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane.
Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane.
Namaste Sahasade Deve Gauravani Tacharine Nirdesesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Desakarine.
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desakarine.
Magakroti Rachalam Angulangaya Tegen Yakita Mahan Bande Sigaranti Tainam Parmananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanyeshram. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Well, we've heard a lot about this temple.
We have all heard a lot about this temple.
And Prabhupada was very much desirous of seeing this temple manifest.
Srila Prabhupada is very much desirous of seeing this temple manifest.
He had been talking about it since the 1960s.
He had been talking about it since the 1960s.
Gopal Krishna Maharaj and Acharya Rishi Prabhu, they were on the first committee.
Gopal Krishna Maharaj and Atreya Rishi Prabhu, they were on the first committee.
And there were various committees along the way.
And there were various committees along the way.
So Prabhupada, I was present at one disappearance day of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur.
I was present at one disappearance day of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur.
And he said on disappearance days it's appropriate to remember the previous acharyas.
He said that on disappearance days it is appropriate to remember the previous acharyas.
So I composed a song commemorating our 5 previous acharyas.
So I composed a song commemorating our 5 previous acharyas.
But that's another topic.
That's another topic.
Now, Prabhupada at that time, he mentioned how each acharya had done something for Mayapur.
Prabhupada at that time mentioned how each previous acharya had done something for Mayapur Dham.
I won't go into those details because we're only given a few minutes to speak.
I won't go into the details as I have only a few minutes to speak.
But then Prabhupada, he mentioned that he also was trying to do something for the Dham.
Then Prabhupada mentioned that he also was trying to do something for the Dham.
And he had predicted that there would be a temple here.
He had predicted that there would be a temple here.
And he wanted to be sure that he started it.
And he wanted to be sure that he started it.
So he actually in 1977, he laid another foundation stone.
Actually in 1977, he laid another foundation stone
For the temple of the Vedic Planetarium.
for the temple of the Vedic Planetarium.
And at that time he was weak, and so he sent someone else. He took the Ananta Sesha in his hand and he gave it to one disciple to put it in the pit.
At that time, he was weak, so he took the Ananta Sesha in his hand and gave it to another disciple to put it inside the pit.
So he actually laid the stone for the foundation of the temple of Vedic Planetarium.
So he actually laid the stone for the foundation of the temple of the Vedic Planetarium.
So he laid a foundation stone in 1971 or 2
So he laid a foundation stone in 1971 or 2
for the whole city,
for the whole city.
and in 1977
And in 1977,
for the temple of Vedic Planetarium.
for the temple of the Vedic Planetarium.
So he was very much focused on seeing this temple manifest.
So he was very much focused on seeing this temple manifest.
So in the disappearance day, he was saying how he was trying to do something for the Dham.
So on this disappearance day, he was saying how he was trying to do something for this Dham.
Then he was saying, and I'm very thankful for all the disciples, all the devotees who are helping.
And then he was saying that he was very thankful to all the disciples and others who are helping him.
And then he choked up.
And then he choked up.
He couldn't speak anymore.
He couldn't speak anymore.
He started to profusely cry.
He started to profusely cry.
And Prabhupada, he would always control his emotions.
Srila Prabhupada, he would always control his emotions.
But this time he was unable.
But this time he was unable.
That's how much it meant to him.
That is how much it meant to him.
To see this temple finished.
To see this temple finished.
He had told me personally
He had told me personally
that this temple would attract people from all over the world.
that this temple would attract people from all over the world.
And that they would come here and they would see not only the temple, they would see a Vedic Planetarium.
That they would come here and they would see not only a temple, but they would also see a Vedic planetarium.
They would see how the Vedic vision of the universe and all its planetary systems was.
They would see the Vedic vision of the universe and all the planetary systems, how it was.
And beyond.
And beyond.
The spiritual world.
To the spiritual world.
How the Vedas have that description also.
How in the Vedas there are those descriptions also.
Our previous acharyas and Bhaktivinoda Thakur,
our previous acharyas like Bhaktivinoda Thakur,
in his Navadip Dham Mahatmya,
in his Navadip Dham Mahatmya,
he describes how after the disappearance of Lord Chaitanya,
how after the disappearance of Lord Chaitanya,
the Ganges would rise,
the Ganges would rise,
and for 100 years, the Mayapur would be underwater.
Mayapur would be underwater.
So the people would move out. And this place would become scantily populated.
And this place would become scantily populated.
Then, since the desire of the Lord is all powerful,
then since the desire of the Lord is all powerful,
by His desire, a community of devotees would gradually settle down.
A community of devotees gradually settle down.
There would be many temples. But there would be one prominent temple. Lord Nityananda predicted, Ek Adbhut Mandir Hoide Prakash Gauranga Nitya Seva Hoide Vikas. There will be one wonderful temple.
There will be one wonderful temple
which will become manifest. And from that the eternal devotional service.
And from that the eternal devotional service
of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would spread throughout the world. Haribol!
Haribol!
Haribol! Haribol! So every acharya has tried to do something for Mayapur Dham. And Srila Prabhupada, he wanted this temple to be
manifest.
He wanted to make this contribution. And he empowered Amrish Prabhu. By giving him the seva. But he also asked the GBC. And different devotees and sannyasis from around the world. To see that this temple is built. Sometimes he would praise Americans.
Sometimes he would praise Americans.
Sometimes he would praise Europeans.
Sometimes he would praise Europeans.
He would say different things.
He would say different things.
He turned to me. He turned to me.
He turned to me and
turned to me.
He turned to me.
Confidence. In confidence.
In confidence.
He kind of whispered to me.
And he kind of whispered to me.
And I see how he was playing one devotee against another. He was playing one devotee against another.
He was playing one devotee against the other.
That he told me. I just want to enthuse everybody.
I want to enthuse everybody.
Get the temple built.
To get the temple built.
Something like that. So he used every tactic, every way to enthuse us.
So he used every tactic, every way to enthuse us.
That takes me back to the Bhakti Ratnakar.
that takes me to Bhakti Ratnakar.
There, Srinivasacharya, he went on a Navadvip Parikrama.
He went on Navadvip Parikrama
by Ishan Thakur. And at the end, he was laying down in a Sachi courtyard.
At the end, he was lying down in Sachi's courtyard.
And he was looking. Simple grass huts. He said, this is suitable for a devotee. But the Supreme Lord, the Lord of Lords, the Supreme Personality of Godhead,
the Supreme Personality of Godhead,
he should have a beautiful palace and devotees, serving him. Why grass huts? And then Nidra, sleep, attracted him. And the Lord Chaitanya took him up and gave him a spiritual vision of Navadvip Dham.
And Lord Chaitanya took him up and gave him a spiritual vision of Navadvip Dham.
How it was golden and effulgent and huge. He showed a temple where Lord Chaitanya was seated on a jeweled Simhasan.
So he showed a temple where Lord Chaitanya was seated on a jeweled Simhasan.
With Vishnupriya and Lakshmi Priya. Then he woke up. Oh. Went back to sleep.
And he went back to sleep.
And he was taken up.
He was
shown a temple with a big dome.
And he was shown a temple with a big dome.
And there were kirtan going on.
There was kirtan going on.
Panchatattva and so many devotees were dancing kirtan.
Panchatattva and so many devotees were dancing in kirtan.
Millions of devotees, countless devotees from all parts of the world, from China, from Russia.
Millions of devotees, accomplished devotees from all parts of the world.
America.
From Russia, China, America, all over.
Continent.
From every continent.
Every color. They're all chanting, dancing, all chanting Hare Krishna.
They're all chanting and dancing, all chanting Hare Krishna.
He had this vision. So, it's kind of this is there on the spiritual platform.
So this is there on the spiritual platform.
But it's also a type of prediction.
We
see this temple.
With a big dome.
And the Panchatattva.
And
all the devotees would be dancing.
And all the devotees would be dancing.
And doing kirtan. So, we see how at the birthplace they have Lord Chaitanya, Vishnupriya and Lakshmi Priya.
We see at the birthplace how they have Lord Chaitanya and Lakshmi Priya and Vishnu Priya.
And here we have Panchatattva.
And here we have Panchatattva. Dancing.
Anyway, now we have to do what Gopal Krishna Maharaj said. We have to lend our might.
We have to give our might
and see that every brick, every square foot, every square meter of the temple is finished.
That every brick, every square foot, every square meter of the temple is finished.
I'm told that I should end.
I'm told that I should end.
ILS is freaking out.
ILS is freaking out.
I wanted to give you a glimpse of the planetarium.
I wanted to give you a glimpse of the planetarium.
But no time.
No time.
But the exhibits go into the things that Prabhupada wanted.
The exhibits, they go into the things that Prabhupada wanted.
Time, by Vedic standards, it's mind-boggling.
It's mind-boggling.
How we present our philosophy.
How we present our philosophy.
In a very scientific format.
In a very scientific format.
People, when they see this, they have to go out with the consciousness a little changed.
So when people see this, they have to go out with their consciousness changed.
No doubt.
No doubt.
So, with your blessings and all the intelligence of the great devotees here.
So with all your blessings and with all the intelligence of the great devotees here,
we can do something very transcendently powerful.
We can do something transcendently powerful.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. His Holiness Shivaram Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti True Maharaj, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj. Hey! And if I could steal another 2 minutes of your time, just 2 minutes, and then we will have 2 more minutes of your time to finish with a Prabhupada Leela story, which will take 2 minutes, that happened here in Mayapur, that Bhavananda Prabhu is going to recite. So in total, 4 minutes of your time. The first thing I would like to say is that wouldn't all of these wonderful Vaishnavas who spoke today, wouldn't they make a wonderful global ambassador advisory team for the TOVP? We haven't asked them yet, but you have at least endorsed that, so that's fantastic. Actually, we have asked Bhakti True Maharaj, and he has agreed. And Gopal Krishna Maharaj has agreed. That means the TOPP will now march into Delhi and Mumbai. Haribol. I also wanted to give you a little report. Srila Prabhupada, as Shivaram Maharaj so nicely spoke about the scientists and about mundane science and godless science, and Srila Prabhupada giving them a boot. They pump, governments and research agencies and foundations pump billions of dollars into mundane, godless science. And Srila Prabhupada said that money is his lifeblood. And to finish this temple, yes, Lakshmi is what is needed. But we're not going to ask you for anything at all. We're simply going to give you a report of a little scheme that the TOVP have been running in the last 4 or 5 days since the ILS started. And that's been spearheaded by Rajvilas Prabhu and, as previously mentioned, Radha Jivan Prabhu. And they have been doing an absolutely wonderful job. So I want to give you a little report. They were selling these bricks. These bricks are going to be the bricks that are placed under the Panchatattva altar to support our wonderful Panchatattva. And I think in total they had 1,008 bricks. And here is the latest report. South Africa Yatra has pledged 100 of those bricks. Los Angeles Temple, we spin from South Africa to Los Angeles. Los Angeles has bought 50 of those bricks. Australia, 25. They can do better than that. Tirupati, 100. Other individuals who we can't list, 123. That gives a grand total of 398 bricks. However, I got a text message this morning at Mangal Aarti time, and the yatra that I'm associated with, the UK yatra, was feeling left out. And the wonderful devotees like Shruti Dharma Prabhu, Gauri Prabhu, Pranabandhu Prabhu, Jainitai Prabhu, and Nitai Charan Prabhu, and all of the other devotees, they texted me. They woke me up. I wasn't going to Mangal Aarti this morning. And they told me that the UK are topping the list. They have purchased 135 of these bricks. And that gives a grand total of 533 bricks have been bricks have been sold in the last 4 days. 533, which translates to approximately $960,000 US. But I'm feeling bereft. Why did we not get the extra 40,000 and cross the $1 million mark? But I am told there's time for all of you. When I stop speaking, the Mayapura Seva office opens, and Radha Jivan and Rajvilas will be in that office, and you are all welcome to pay them a visit and talk about the weather. Hare Krishna, thank you for your time, and thank you for persevering with the overrun. Again, a big thank you to all our glorious sannyasis here who spoke so beautifully and eloquently on the TOVP. All glories to the TOVP project. All glories to Ambarish Prabhu, who is not with us today, as you heard, has contributed many, many millions of dollars. And Radha Jivan Prabhu, he has a few bob, but not too much. Rajvilas is absolutely broke, but they are committed to raising the additional 50 or so million to complete this project. Please help them. We are now finishing with the one and only Bhavananda Prabhu, who, as Bhakti Trumar said, had so many personal instructions from His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Hey!
Haribol. First, on behalf of all the assembled devotees here, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn in thanking all of our esteemed sannyasis for your insightful understanding of the purpose of the Temple of Vedic Planetarium and for your fervent appeal for funds. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. In 1977, I saw Prabhupada was on the roof of the Lotus building, and he was all alone. I saw he was on that side. So I quickly ran up to be with him, paid my obeisances, and Prabhupada was looking up towards the Jayapataka temple. And he looked at me and he said, "What is more important, the Janmastan or the Karmastan of a person? The birthplace or the activities?" I said, "I would think the activities, Srila Prabhupada." He said, "Yes." He said, "So the Jayapataka is the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya." He said, "Our ISKCON campus is the activities, the preaching of Lord Chaitanya." Now here's the shocker. He said, "I want you to make a place here, a temple, that is so wonderful that no one will go to the Jayapataka temple, everyone will come here." So those of us who were at Mangal Aarti this morning, we can see that he's probably succeeding. There were so many pilgrims here, you know. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. A place so wonderful that no one will go